amazing. What is less amazing? Let's bring it down. Aloha. We've made it to our last speaker of the night. Not Megan, the next guy. So we're happy that you made it here. This guy, who didn't answer any of my goddamn questions.
True. That is not true.
Really?
Yes, I'm happy to answer them now.
Please.
Yeah.
She said the same thing with me.
I know. What is that? Okay.
Lost your face.
Yes. I progressively shaved over these last 2 months.
Hold, please. First run through, full beard. Second run through, mustache. I didn't know who the guy was. I spent half of our rehearsal going, who is that dude? No shit. And now, who are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody, Joseph, I'm going to hop off.
Oh, thank you, Kat. That's really sweet. I won't be shaving anything else, I promise. Joseph Nelson. I don't know why they cut those off, but I drew these slides myself, and I screwed up. No. You know what? I was just kidding. I didn't screw up. But I've screwed up plenty of times in my life, and I bet you have too. You know, in my day-to-day job, I'm a director of program management, and in that world, accidents are verboten. But I'm also a musician, and in that world, accidents can be magic. And they got me thinking, what else in our lives, in our world, are not here because of intention, but because of accidents? I think the more we look, and especially the more times I looked, the more times I'm surprised that the different things I'm seeing, stuck around and they were accidents. And now we're going to look at 4 examples of happy accidents that shaped our world. Sometimes for the better. I'm going to let you be the judge. The first accident is about one of the F's of biology, the 3 F's of biology: feeding, fighting, and mating. But this one starts not in the bed, but in a laboratory in 1989. 2 British scientists were trying to make a drug to treat high blood pressure and coronary heart disease. They're trying to save lives. But the company in clinical trials found that it was rather stimulating in men. Patented in 1996, it was called sildenafil citrate, and now it's what we call Viagra. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And it's made a lot of happy accidents, I'm sure. Maybe some people in the audience here. And as an externality, it's the leading cause of sexually transmitted infection in the elderly. And the 2 British scientists, this is great, Peter Dunn and Albert Wood. It's like it's predestined. All right, our second example, we go to 1693 in France, and here the clergy are distilling spirits, they're brewing beer, they're making wine. Back then, priests could party. But one priest was trying to make a wine in the bottle, but accidentally had a second fermentation. That means bubbles in the bottle. And see, a second fermentation was discovered 30 years prior in England, but it was overshadowed by this creation in France. The clergy, his name was Dom Perignon, and he didn't even like the bubbles in the bottle. He tried to remove them. But the appellation stuck. It's what we know now call today champagne. Yeah, and without that, I can't think of anything that we used to celebrate as much as we do champagne. If we used coffee or something else, it just wouldn't have, had the same ring to it. I know I'm going to have champagne later, so, this is how we do it. For our third example, this is my favorite one. We go to 1940s America. We're talking about the electric guitar, probably the most beloved instrument of the 20th century. And back then, the electric guitar was basic. It was just the hardware on the guitar and the amplifier. There's nothing in between. It sounded fine, but to our ears, it's missing something. It's missing flavor. It's missing neurospice. It's missing something to give it flavor. That was by accident. See, 2 separate stories kind of corroborate this. So one was during a recording, a switch in the desk broke, and they just kept going with the recording. In another story, someone broke their amp before recording. But either way, they could have re-recorded it, but they didn't. This fuzzy, distorted sound that was produced afterwards, they liked it, they kept it in. And that was another happy accident. Without that, we wouldn't have had all the loud electric music we have today. It was in part because of this direct accident. All right, now, last one. 1962, Japanese director Kira Kurosawa is making Sanjuro. If you've seen it, this is great. So at the climax, 2 samurais standing off, And then the climax, big action, and a huge blood geyser. Well, that wasn't by accident. I mean, there was supposed to be some blood, but not this much. You see, the blood pump prop broke, and it made this huge blood geyser. This was by accident. Now, they could have kept it in, but he decided to leave it. Now, without that, we might not have had as much slasher horror movies like my friends like today and Tarantino violence. So there's 4 accidents of sex, drugs, rock and roll, and death that show, yeah, exactly, that show that without happy accidents, our world might not look the same. And a lot of you might be accidents. I think I was, but my parents don't corroborate that story. So I'm going to ask you, when you're creating something and it doesn't go to plan, take a second, see what you made. Be brave enough to show someone else, see what they think. And if it's better, be willing to accept something better than your plan A. Thank you.
Nice job, man. I still don't recognize. All right. Can I get a big round of applause for all the speakers?